Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Calexico Unified School District Board Meeting, November 9th. E, reconvene to open session. It is now 6:11. F, announcement, actions taken in closed session, none. However, just be advised that the board will be going back into closed session after later on in this evening. G, presentation, G1. Ms. Ambris.
Yes, we will start with our student representatives. And for Aurora High School, we have Carolina Beltran Bustamante. No? Okay. Then for Calexico High School, we have Daniela Cortez. And I don't think that's Daniela either.
I'm gonna be subbing for her. I'm Juliana. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board, staff, parents, and students. My name is Juliana, and I am today's Calexico High School student representative. I'll be naming sub-activities we had at the high school. For our homecoming game, the Queen was announced during halftime, in which both nominees would choose a box, and of those boxes would have the winning sash. Congratulations to Anaí Fonseca, who won Queen, and Kitsia Hara, who won Princess. Our annual canned food drive began this Monday and will end November 17th. It's a fourth period competition in which first place will receive a complete pizza party, including chips and beverages. Second place will receive a Sunday party, and third place will receive candies. On October 25th, we held our memorial ceremony in which we honored our beloved teacher, Mr. Lopez, who sadly passed away. Many past students attended, as well as staff and new students. Thank you for your attention, and may you all have an amazing weekend.
Thank you.
For Calexico High School's 9th grade campus, Johnny Valenzuela.
Good evening. My name is Johnny Valenzuela, and I am the ASB District Representative for Calexico High School. During the month of October and November, we have had many events, and here they are. During the near end of October, we held a Homecoming Spirit Week daily competition with Period 2 classes and a daily winner. We also had our freshman class of 2021 participate in our Homecoming live skits, the parade, and the carnival. Our freshman princess was Yanitza Almodovar, who participated in the halftime events at the Homecoming game. For the last event in October, we hosted a Halloween costume contest, which included a circle of friends and their buddies. For the month of November, we are currently sponsoring a holiday food drive to benefit Calexico families. We also recognize all of our freshman athletes who played fall sports at our freshman fall pep rally held at the 9th grade campus during lunch last Thursday, where our Frosh cheerleaders performed for a full gym. Thank you for your time and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
For Enrique Camarena, Adrian Campos.
Good evening, staff members. My name is Ian Flotis. I am the district representative, and in this month of October, we held a full fall carnival and the Red Ribbon Week, and hosted the Kiki Camarena family and awarded them the Kiki Camarena Award of Excellence. Another event was the parent conferences led by students. Over 80% of parents attended the parent conference. In the month of November, we will hold the annual turkey run, and we'll kick off winter sports. ISB will sponsor their canned food drive. Our goal is to exceed 1,000 cans to donate to charity on behalf of all Firebirds. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ian. For Willie Moreno Junior High School, Brianda Montaño.
Brianda's not here, and I will be subbing for her. Good evening, everyone. My name is Mia Burgos, and I am part of the ASB in William Moreno Junior High. Today, I will share the events we have planned for the month of November. On November 6th to the 15th, we will be having a canned food drive. Students that donate cans will will give them to their Block 1 teacher. Cans will be donated to the Brown Bag Coalition. The Block 1 class that collects the most cans will get a donut party. On November 16th, we will be having our movie night in the multi-purpose, where we will be watching Boss Baby, and clubs will be selling snacks. On November 17th, we will be having our annual turkey run. The turkey run consists of 7th and 8th graders running a mile, and the first place winners for 7th and 8th win a turkey. Next week, we will be having our SLCs, the student-led conferences, in which our astics will be showing their parents their grades and how they are doing in school. We also sell Domino's Pizza every Thursday at D20 for $1.50 a slice. Thank you and have a great evening.
Thank you. So now we'll do the Student of the Month recognitions, which is always a highlight of our board meeting. So we'll start with Aurora High School, Itzel Ruiz. Itzel? No? Okay, how about Francisco Rosette? Come on. Francisco, are your parents here with you? Are your parents here? Your parents, are they here? Have them come forward. So Francisco Rosette was recommended by Mr. John Moreno, the Director of Alternative Education. He recognizes him for his hard work at school, his punctuality and attendance at school, and encourages Francisco as well as his classmates to continue to do well at Aurora High School and accomplish his goals. Thank you and congratulations, Francisco Rosette. And Mr. Moreno is at the CIF football game tonight. Okay, for Calexico High School, we have Daniela Cortez. So if you can please come up with your parents, Daniela.
Daniela would like to thank her parents, especially her mom, her #1 supporter. She has been able to put up with all her activities and has been by her side all the way. Daniela is a 4-year member of the ASB class and organizes CHS pep rallies. She is currently on the executive board as public relations officer. She is also a student representative for the CHS School Site Council. Daniela plans to attend UC Davis in the fall and pursue a bachelor's degree in political science. The advice Daniela would give her younger self is to stop trying to prove that she is good enough.
And we also have David Guerrero from Calexico High School.
David Guerrero is a senior at Calexico High School. He has a 4.18 GPA and is ranked 5th in his class of 687 students. David would like to thank his parents for always supporting him even when he felt he didn't have enough to become what he is today. David participates in the robotics team, APYL, the Logics Math Club, and is looking forward to track and field. He is especially proud to have represented Calexico in Boys State last summer. David plans to attend a 4-year university in the fall, preferably UCSD, and study mechanical or civil engineering. If he could give advice to his younger self, David would tell himself never to think of himself as a minority. Everyone has the same opportunity to succeed. It just depends on how you make it happen.
For Calexico 9th grade, we have Johnny Valenzuela reading the bios, starting with Mariana Ledesma.
Another one of our Calexico High School's District Student of the Month is Mariana Ledesma. Mariana's parents are Emanuela and Fernando Ledesma. Her favorite subjects are geometry and biology. Mariana plans to play the saxophone for the Calexico High School Marching Band, a member of Circle of Friends, and is presently trying out for the basketball team. She plans to attend Stanford University because it has one of the best medical programs, and her goal is to become a surgeon. The one thing she would change about the world is end division and racism, because we are all one and should be united. With such a job, Mariana, the Bulldogs see a bright future of you.
Also from Calexico 9th grade, Alan Arreola. Alan? Can you read his bio?
One of Calexico's High School's District Student of the Month is Alan Orlando. Orlando's parents are Rolando Ariola and Carla Carrasco. His favorite subjects are Mesa and algebra, and he plans to attend MIT or UCLA. MIT is an engineering school, and UCLA is close to home. Alan enjoys baseball and is preparing for the season, and he is also a member of the robotics club. Alan plans to major in civil engineering because he likes to plan and create structures. Alan wishes he could end racism in the world because it is bad to treat others differently based on their race or color of their skin. Good job, Alan. You're one true bulldog.
From Enrique Camarena, Ian Flores will read the first biography for Namilia Musso.
Namilia Musso is an 8th grader. Manilia is the daughter of Cynthia and Miguel Musso. Hobbies is watercoloring, playing the flute, reading and writing. Her favorite subject at school is science and math. When she graduates, she wants to go to university and wants to get a major in astrophysics. She also has a dream to come work at NASA.
Also from Enrique Camarena, we have Jaden Torres.
Jaden Torres is an 8th grader. Jaden Torres is the son of Jorge and Annalie Torres. His hobbies are acting, baseball, football, basketball. He was named the Imperial Valley Press Junior Athlete of the Year. He likes using trampolines, hanging out with friends, filming movies, and doing commercials in Hollywood. His favorite subject in school is science. When he graduates, he wants to attend a university and study sometimes in the field of science. He wants to pursue his dreams and make his parents proud and live and follow God's plan for him. He would like to thank God, his parents, his mama. It's something else. Annalie teaches coaches because all the support they give me day in and out, they keep me humble. I would like to give a special thanks to his mom, Annalie, for having me and supporting him, pushing him to do the best in everything he can do. Thanks to all these people, I'll take a life a day at a time and enjoy every second that I am here on the earth. Thank you, he says.
Thank you. And for Willie Moreno, we have Mia Burgos reading the biographies. And we'll start off with Sofia Ponce.
Sofia Ponce is a 7th grader. Sofia is the daughter of Blanca and Ramon Ponce, and she is the youngest of 5 siblings. Sofia's favorite subject is writing because she likes to use her imagination. Some of her other favorite things are menudo and lasagna, the color blue, and Latino pop music. Her dream destinations include Hawaii, New York, and the continent of Europe. Sofia's role model is her mother because she's taught all of her children to be the best people as they can be and to follow their dreams no matter how impossible they may seem. As a short-term goal, Sofia has decided she wants to be William Moreno's class valedictorian so she can follow in the footsteps of her 4 brothers and sisters. In the future, Sofia would love to attend Stanford University in Palo Alto and then become either an actress, an educator, or a lawyer. Wait to dream big, Sofia.
And we have, rounding up the student recognitions, Mario Espinosa Jr.
Mario Espinosa is an 8th grader. Mario is the middle son of Angelica Torres, and his siblings are fellow Aztecs Ashley, Luis, and Jocelyn. Mario's favorite class is math, and although he would never tell you this, he does a great job helping out in our school's ASB. Mario loves to eat pizza and spaghetti, and he also loves the color blue, pop music, and Ford Mustangs. If he could visit anywhere in the world, it would be Asia, so he can see all of the riches he's read and heard about for himself. Mario's role model is his mom because she always supports him. His short-term goal for this school year is to be on time and never be absent. In the future, Mario wishes to attend Imperial Valley College and then transfer to a university in San Diego with his ultimate goal of becoming a surgeon. Keep working hard, Mario, and your wishes will come true.
Another highlight of our board meetings is to recognize our employees. So this evening we have Mr. Mariano Velez recognizing Nimisha Patel and Michael Main. Go ahead, Mr. Velez.
Ms. Nimisha Patel is not here tonight. She is traveling to see her family, but she is one of our newest Aztecs, having just started her third year. She is a strong advocate for students. She's available any time of the day. She gets there early. Kids are in her classroom working, talking with her. They're in there at lunch. They're in there after school. And as a highlight for this year, she is one of 2 teachers that started a Circle of Friends Club at the school, which is now well over 60 students. So on behalf of the staff and the students at William Monroe Junior High School, we thank her for her service and congratulate her for this much deserved honor. This next one is a little bit of personal for me. I've known this young man since he was real little. And as he walks in, you'll see that he's not so little anymore. He's known as Michael at work. We know him as Chris. He is our projects clerk at William Moreno. He is the model of efficiency, always on top of the job, always smiling face. The kids love when he's around, and obviously the rest of the staff does as well. And on behalf of the staff and students at William Moreno Junior High School, Mr. Main, we congratulate you for this much deserved honor, and we thank you for your dedication and service to our staff and our students.
And we have Mrs. Flores, principal from Kennedy Gardens Elementary School, who will be recognizing her employees. And the 2 employees she will be recognizing are Connie Castellanos and Fernanda Flores.
Good evening, trustees, Madam Superintendent, members of the audience. It gives me great pleasure to join everyone tonight to recognize such a dedicated teacher as Ms. Fernanda Flores. Ms. Fernanda. Ms. Flores has been working for Calexico Unified School District for the past 4 years as a special education teacher. Prior to that, she worked at Meadows Unified and Holville Unified, a year at each district. Ms. Flores is an amazing teacher that loves and appreciates her students regardless of their capabilities or behaviors. She genuinely seeks to understand her students and encourages them to engage and learn from each other. She is always thinking outside the box and finding new ways to explain and demonstrate the subject matter. She brings a lot of creativity to the classroom. Ms. Flores, stay over here. And does a stellar job at teaching. Ms. Flores' passion for education is also evidenced at her school involvement. She's always participating in school activities in an attempt to make our school a place where students want to come every day. She is one of our 2 ACES coordinators. She is part of the Kennedy Gardens drill team coaching staff. She is involved in getting our students ready for parades, field trips, tournaments, Saturday school. I want to especially thank Mrs. Flores for accepting the big responsibility of serving as my admin designee, one of the 3. It's your professionalism and ability to establish positive relationships with students and parents and staff that make you a trailblazer at Kennedy Gardens. Ms. Flores, I appreciate your love for teaching, and it's always a pleasure working with you. It also gives me a great pleasure to recognize another outstanding member of Kennedy Gardens team, and that is Connie Castellanos. Connie is how she prefers to be called. And Connie is the point guard of our Kennedy Gardens Eagle team. She is the one that runs the team's offense, or our day-to-day business, and does an excellent job at it. Connie has been working for Calexico Unified School District for over 40 years. Let's give a big applause for that. She started as an instructional aide in 1976 at Hoffman Elementary, worked for Adult Basic Ed. She went to Kennedy Gardens when it opened in 1979. Connie came to work for Principal Robert Moreno, transferred to the ANZA and district office. She was there for a year at each site, and then she returned at Kennedy Garden as an admin assistant, where she has been working since. Connie has had the unique opportunity of working with so many principals that have walked through the halls of Kennedy Garden, including Mr. Moreno, Mr. Palacio, Mr. Holt, Ms. Castañeda, Mr. Grosbeck, Ms. Armendariz, Mrs. Castro, Mrs. Azuetra, and Ms. Ramirez. She wanted to make sure that I pointed that out. And Connie, I don't know if it's good or bad, but I know that you've have the privilege of working with some of the best administrators. Connie is a valued member of our educational team that works closely with students, parents, and staff. Her morning shifts into high gears very early on in the day. Telephone, time cards, money, emails, questions, substitutes, teachers, students, parents. It takes a special person to be able to do that type of work, and Connie is a star. I want to especially thank you, Connie, for being an excellent point guard in our team, for your commitment to our school, and for always taking so much care of our kids, their parents and grandparents, our staff, and me. Thank you so much, Connie.
And since we're all about the cake, I've asked President Lorenzo Calderon if he would entertain a 5-minute break so that the community and the people who have received awards can get their cake.
Miss
Okay?
Ambris,
Yes.
can I have 2 minutes?
Oh,
Johnny, get over here. These are the students, the students appointed by the schools to represent their schools. When I'm sorry, I can't. I'm sick. Okay, like this. Okay, so these are the students that are represented each of the schools. So, and they are appointed by their schools to come and talk on their school's behalf. So, I would like to ask board president if he would consider the idea of buying all of the representatives of the schools shirts just like Johnny's. Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Johnny. That's a nice shirt. Thank you,
And-
Madam President. That's it.
eh,
Okay. I'm sorry.
and
I'm sick. I
before
can't
we
speak.
continue, also, I just wanted to congratulate everyone for Veterans Day. And I know we had a Veterans Day ceremony prior to the board meeting starting. However, if there are any veterans in the audience, and I know we have 2 at the dais, if you could please stand and be recognized, we want to thank you for your service. No? No? Okay. Mr. Alvarado and Mr. Calderon, and then anybody else. Well, thank you for your service.
Okay, so now we can have cake? Okay, 5 minutes, please. It's 6:34, so we should be back by 6:39.
Okay, thank you. Once again, congratulations to all the students that were recognized today and to our veterans. G4, LCAP, local indicators.
Waiting for it to be plugged?
Okay, good evening, Board. Tonight I'm going to be presenting information regarding our local indicators, and this is information that we have to present to our board as part of the requirement for the dashboard. In 2016, the State Board of Education adopted a new accountability tool, and within that were some evaluation rubrics. The dashboard makes mention that this information has to be shared with our public and our local board, and this has to be done before December 1st of 2017. There are 10 priorities, and within those priorities are different indicators. The first 8 priorities pertain to district offices. So for example, priority 1, 2, and 3, if you look at the right, they have local indicators as the monitoring tool that we're going to have. Priority 6 has another local indicator, which is local climate survey, the local climate survey, and then 4 through 8 are local, are not local. They are state indicators. These state indicators are based on different performance levels, and as you see right here, they are determined by the state. They collect the data and they share it through the dashboard. The local indicators is up to us to determine if we met or have not met. The state indicators include chronic absenteeism, which this will be the first time that it shows up. It was not in the spring 2017 dashboard. We have suspension rates, English learners progress, graduation rates, college and career. It's also something that will be showing up as a status beginning the fall 2017. And then we have the academic ELA and mathematics scores based on the SPAC. The performance on state indicators are done through a rubric, and on that rubric we're going to see the status and the change over 2 years. This is what it looks like. Every state indicator has a different rubric with different metrics, and then this is the colors that we are assigned to. So the performance levels go from red being the lowest to blue being the highest. So this is what the dashboard looks like, and this is Calexico's dashboard. So you see up here, it specifies our enrollment, our socioeconomically disadvantaged students, English learners, and so on. And here are the different indicators. This is the spring 2017, so this is what I mentioned. You did not have chronic absenteeism data, nor did we have the college and career. These two indicators, right now, they just sent us an email about the dashboard being opened and us reviewing some of the data because it will be posted in the fall 2017 dashboard. Our LCAP that was approved in June of 2017, we have to put outcomes and the way we're going to measure it. And so everything you see in green pertains to state indicators, and what you see here on the bottom are the way we say we're going to measure our local indicators. It's very small to see, but I just wanted to share with you that in our LCAP goals, each outcome has two types of data. So if we look at just at the graduation indicator, we were with a level of orange, or has two little blocks or sections of parts of the pie. So according to this tab, our status, according to the dashboard, is we have 82.7% of our students meeting this requirement combined between Calexico High School and Aurora. And compared to last year's data, we decreased by 0.5%. So we go back to the rubric. We're down here because we're between 67 and 85. And because we maintained, which is this right here, the change between no more than 1 and no greater than 0. This is why we're here in the orange. Okay, that's how we were classified for the spring dashboard. According to our goal 4, our outcomes, we said that this would be our baseline, the 82.7. CDE data quest, which is where we pull our data, has it at 78.1, and I did address it with our county office to see why is there a discrepancy, because both of these are CDE data, so they haven't responded back. But let's say we are at the 82.7%. They just posted the CDE data for 15-16, so this is actually data that's 2 years behind, but that's the way for this indicator how it is. So according to CDE for the 15-16, our graduation rate has gone up to 86.8. So if we look at the 82.3 and the 86.8, we went up 4.1%. Okay, so remember those numbers. So we're now at 86, so now we fall in the medium, and we grew by 4.1. Here's if we had maintained, here is if we have increased. So based on this new data for our dashboard for next year, we have now jumped from orange to green. And that is what we want to see. We want to see progression over time. The local indicators are not done through rubrics. They are measured through our SARC, our School Accountability Report Card. And under that, they look for teacher misassignments, student access to instructional materials, and conditions of facilities. They also look at implementation of state standards, parent engagement, and school climate. These are measured annually. We must report it to our board members and our community through a regular scheduled public meeting. And then we have to then, once I present it to the board, then I will put it in the dashboard. And so I have to make sure that I do this before December 1st. This is how we are evaluating our performance level, either met, or not met for 2 or more years. The meeting, not meeting, or not met for 2 years does not measure our progress. Instead, it says, did you present it to the board and the community? And if I did present it, then we meet it. If we don't present it, then it counts as not met. How do we measure the progress? We have to state whether we met, or not met for 2 years. They provide some self-reflection tools or options to do narratives, and then we have to report the progress through the dashboard. If I shared with you earlier, this is what the dashboard looks for the state indicators. The local indicators are in the bottom. So if you see right now, it says not applicable because this is the first time I present it to you. Once I do present it, I'm going to go back and change all of these to met. Okay? So it should look like this. Met. And again, we have until December 1st to do this. So priority 1 was the basic. This is basically what we have in the SARC, which pertains to the Williams settlement requirements. So we need to make sure that we meet it with 100%. And the data that we're looking at is the, again, teacher misassignments, students' access to instructional materials, and conditions of school facilities. This is what it looks like when we go into the dashboard. Okay, those are the 3 areas right here. Kind of small to see, but this is what we have. So in terms of number and percentage of misassignments, we had 0 misassignments for English learners. We have 0 misassignments of total teachers, but we did have 3 vacant positions at the time that we submitted our Williams paperwork. The second one is the percentage of students' access to their own copies of standards aligned instructional materials. We had 0% of our students with no access. So we put it in the negative because that's how it's presented in the actual dashboard. And we did submit and you approved a sufficiency of textbook resolution on October 12th. And then our FIT tools reports from our sites, that's a typo. You'll see the right number right now because I had to change it. It's a little bit more than 202. But that's the number of deficiencies or Ds that we received district-wide for all sites, and then we had 0 number of X's. Here's the information regarding the vacancies. Back when we had the Williams paperwork submitted, the vacancies we had were at Calexico High School. We had art, biology, and English 9. In terms of the FIT, these are the final scores for every school site. This is the percentage and the ranking. And this is what the rankings represent. And so you see the percentages, what it signifies, and then how they rate it. In terms of the reporting in the dashboard, we have to note every D that was received and every X that was received in all our school sites. So those are the 2 that we're going to be looking at. So it's actually 213, not 202. 202 was what we had accumulated without counting Cesar Chavez and Aurora, because those 2 sites were not visited by the county. Our MNO staff did conduct those evaluations for the 2 sites, so that went up to 213 total deficiencies. The deficiencies that we had the most were the internal surfaces. So some of the things that you saw was the water leaks on these roofs, cracks on the floor, wrinkled carpet. It wasn't an X. Most of them were, well, the majority were Ds. We didn't get any X's. The others that you see are like sinks and fountains. Many of them was because it was either rusted or they weren't functioning well. And then the other one was the playgrounds. A lot of these were cracks and cements. Priority 2 is the implementation of state standards. For this one, we have an option of how we monitor progress. We can either do a narrative summary or a reflection tool. The majority of the districts pick the reflection tool, so that's what we did. This is what it looks like in the actual dashboard when I have to go in and input the information. And this is the different slides for the different components. The first one talks about professional learning. Progress that we've done in providing professional learning in the different curriculums and frameworks. So in ELA, we ranked ourselves a 4, 4 being full implementation, 5 being full implementation and sustainability, and then you see the other ones that were lower. For English language development, we scored ourselves a 3. And again, this is a self-reflection tool. There are no penalties for how you score. It's more for us as an LEA to determine what are some of the things we have to work on for future years. Mathematics, we reflected and got ourselves a 4. The next generation standards and the history, social standards, science standards, although we've been working with our staff through our ICOE, we still have very old adoptions, and as I mentioned in previous meetings, our history adoption should be starting this year, and then science will be next year. So that's why we scored ourselves a 2, because we do provide some professional development, but we're not there yet. We don't have the new adoptions. This is instructional materials. Again, for ELA, ELD, and math, we have all our materials. For next year, and the reason we didn't score our 5 is because we continue to look at the different components of the new curriculum, and there's a lot of things in the teacher boxes that they receive. So we'll continue to provide professional development for our teachers. And then for the next generation science and the history science, well, we don't have the new adoption yet. Teachers are doing a lot of supplementing to make sure that we're addressing the NGSS standards. Number 3 has to do with implementation of policies or programs on improving and delivering instruction. When we ranked this, we ranked it again as a district. As a site, if the administrator and the teachers would want to do this survey as a site, they probably rank a little bit higher because they have more insight as what happens in the classrooms or their own visits. So for this one, we scored ourselves a 2. We say we're working towards that, and the reason we ranked ourselves a 2 is because we have begun the work of determining what's going to be the focus for the district, and we're going back with our teachers and we're generating surveys and what they feel should be what we should be looking for in terms of what's important for students. And after that, we're going to start conducting some walkthroughs. And then after that, collecting the data, reflecting, and then providing teachers with professional development on where we see we have gaps. And 4 is the progress implementing each of the following academic. These are the other content areas. So in terms of CTE, we scored ourselves a 4. And I know for the past 3 years, we've been working hard on aligning our pathways for our CTE. Health education content standards, we scored a 1 because we know that it's provided, but it's not systemic or structured. So that's something that we really need to work on. And then physical education, visual and performing arts, and world languages, we scored ourselves a 4. And then number 5, it has to do with the school year including civic order, professional development, and how we determine who receives professional development. If we talked about professional learning needs as groups of teachers, we scored ourselves a 3. If we looked at identifying professional development needs for individual teachers, we score ourselves a 1. And then providing support for teachers on standards they have not yet mastered, we scored ourselves as a 1. As a district and an ed services team, we do recognize that we have to work on a professional development plan to see how we're going to meet all of these 3 components. And then I'm not going to go through all of this, but it's just part of what I have to write is a narrative of what are some of the things that we have done. So we talked about how we're goal setting and what are our focus as a district. We talk about how we collect data, what kinds of professional development we have provided, whether teachers have release time or they go on their own pre-approved workshops that are out of the district, and so on. Parent engagement, we again have 2 options of monitoring progress. So we selected the survey. Calexico opted to give the parent survey when we did the Healthy Kids survey. So we did conduct the survey for parents. We had received 662 responses between our TK to 12th grade, and we knew that by providing the survey, we would be compiling data for LCAP. So we had 662 responses, elementary 85% responses, and for secondary was 14.2%. We also conducted an internal survey regarding what kind of professional development or trainings our parents wanted, and for this one we did have 92% response in elementary and 7% or 8% in secondary. And these are some of the results. So in terms of parent involvement, that the school allows input and welcomes parents' contributions, this is the overall percentage. So this is those who chose strongly agree. It's 48%. In terms of encouraging them to be partners at the school, 49%. Here on the right, you see the elementary, the middle school, and the high school. And the NT is the non-traditional, which is your continuation. In order for us to have scores, we need to have a percentage of parents who participated. So we did not meet that number through our Aurora's parent participation. School activities, seeking inputs before making any important decisions, 39% of the parents agreed that they were asked for this input. And then parents feel welcome to participate at school. We had 54%. In terms of academic standards, these are the perceptions of the parents in terms of school promotes academic success for all students, 52%. The child is safe at school, 50% they strongly agreed. School motivates our students to learn, 55%, and so on. If we look at the strongly agree or agree, those percentages are much higher, 92, 90, 85. So the strongly agree is what was reported in the report that we received. And so I compiled a strongly agree just for your reference. This is a local survey that we conducted in terms of training. The majority of parents prefer trainings in the evening, but we do have some that requested trainings in the morning. So we will be doing some in the afternoons as usual, but then we'll add some of in the morning. And these are some of the things that parents responded to, what they would like their school, how would they like the school to support them or their students. And these are some of the comments that were made. Providing more trainings, having support at home, ensuring school safety, keeping our website current, providing students with guidance and self-esteem strategies. School climate is our Healthy Kids survey. So again, we conducted the same survey during around the same time in February. We had 2,498 responses. These are grade specific. So at the elementary, it was only for fifth graders. We had 463 participants. At the secondary, we had 2,035 responses, and we conducted this in the 7th, 9th, 11th, and the non-traditional schools, 11th graders. These are some of the responses. One of the things we notice in our data is, for example, school connectedness. At the elementary is a little bit higher. As we move on to higher grades, we see that students have the perception or responded that they feel less connected in the schools. Academic motivation, 42% at the 5th grade, and then 7th grade was a little bit higher, but if you go up to 11th grade, we notice that at the high school, students say that they're less academically motivated. Caring relationships, 59% at the 5th grade, and then as we move up to the high school, we notice that the students feel or are perceived that they don't have any caring or have very little caring relationships. School safety, feeling safe at school. At the elementary, they felt that 81% of the students feel safe at school, either most of the time or all of the time. Been hit or pushed, 44% said that they had been hit or pushed. Spreading rumors, 44%, being called bad names or jokes, 41%, and saw a weapon at school, 15% of the 5th graders. For the high school, it's a little bit different, but they had school perceived as being very safe, so they had 70%, 64%, 61%. At the Aurora, we had a 54%. Experiencing any harassment or bullying, 24%, 22% at the 11th and Aurora High School. Spreading rumors, around the 35%. Being afraid of being beaten up, 16% in the 7th grade, 11% in the 9th grade, 8 at the 11th, and 10 at the non-traditional. Seeing a weapon on campus, 12%, 13%, 14%, 21% at the continuation. Been drunk or high on drugs at school. At the 7th grade, we had 1%, 9th grade, 5%, 11th graders, 11%, and continuation, 17%. So we know that our governing board and our district safety committee has made student safety a priority. We've taken different numerous measures to create a safe learning environment. Some of these are by stationing a school resource officer at Calexico High School, employing many more campus securities and noon duty aides at the elementaries. We also have all sites secured, have secured the main office entrance, so any visitor is rerouted to the main office. And we also have a visitor management system where people have to scan before they go into our campuses. Schools are implementing different kind of programs such as character counts and 7 habits of highly effective students to foster a positive climate change. And then as a district, we're also increasing student connectedness to school through growth mindsets, modern learners, and other school activities that are occurring around the campus. And that is it. Any questions?
Any questions, trustees? Thank
Okay,
you, Ms.
thank
Ramirez.
you.
Good job. H, comments from the public. The board will take any and all comments from the public related to an item on the agenda or any other item of district business that is not on the agenda. We have a request, Maria Ambris.
This request was submitted basically because there are different community members at this session than there were at the first session. So here goes. Being the superintendent of Calexico Unified School District has been a rewarding experience on so many levels. When I took this role in September 2012, I knew that it would not be easy. I knew there would be challenges. However, the support and encouragement I have received from members of the district's community and staff strengthened me to give my all. It allowed me to be the servant leader for Calexico students, their parents, and our certificated, classified, and administrative staff. I stand here today, 5.5 years later, with a strong affirmation that in spite of the challenges encountered and that I've had to face, the most rewarding experiences have come both from these challenges as well as the positive experience that we have all lived together. Because I know that time does not permit me to go into greater detail, allow me to highlight some of the greater successes we have had since 2012. Improved fiscal status and solvency, we did not go into state receivership and we were not taken over by the state. There have been no certificated and/or classified layoffs in 5 years. There's an increase in certificated and classified positions district-wide. There are improved facilities district-wide, such as a Margarita de Necochea Bulldog Aquatic Center, upgrades to Varner Gym, the vast improvements to Ward Field, and throughout our district schools. There's an improved working relationship with Imperial County Office of Education. We have an LCAP community forums for improved and authentic stakeholder engagement. We successfully passed Measure V, and we are ready to start working at increasing the housing capacity at Calexico High School, as well as modernizing that campus and other schools. We have a revamped professional development system. We are in the process of installing the emergency management system district-wide. We have counselors at all sites, more psychologists. We are working with local law enforcement, California Highway Patrol and Calexico Police Department, and we've worked with the county, such as Mr. Renison, to ensure traffic safety throughout our schools. I've been advocating with the Department of Finance in Sacramento to release to Calexico Unified bond funds that we believe are due to us and that have been denied. We have seen improved attendance rate throughout our district schools. We've had at least 2 negotiation settlements with our bargaining units. And I believe that I've been key in positive representation of Calexico Unified, such as in the newspaper, with the press, with the media, such as the news stations, and such as being the San Diego State commencement speaker this year. I am thankful to Calexico's community and CUSD staff for the trust and support while I served as leader for Calexico Unified School District. As you may be aware or not, my tenure as superintendent may end tonight. Our board may discuss and may decide whether to terminate me at will tonight. Regardless of outcome, I wanted the community of Calexico and Calexico Unified School District, certificated, classified, and administrative staff to know that the best interest of Calexico Unified School District was, is, and always will be dear to my heart. I have served faithfully, tirelessly, and passionately. As an alum of this community schools, I was a Jefferson Tiger, a De Anza Bullpup, and a Calexico Bulldog. I hope to have served as a model to children in this community, an example that hard work pays off, and that the daughter of hardworking parents who worked in the farm fields and a local swap meet, regardless of weather, can go to college, can get advanced degrees, and can successfully lead the largest school district in Imperial County. I do remind the community that Calexico holds 1/4 of the county's student population. Regardless of the board's decision, I will repeat 2 things that I have said often because they are truly a part of my belief system. 1, we belong to each other, and therefore I will always want the best for Calexico students and its staff. And number 2, I am, you are, and we are Calexico. God's grace and blessings to Calexico Unified School District students, staff, and community.
Thank you. I, consent agenda. All items appearing will be acted upon by one motion without discussion unless the item is pulled for separate consideration.
So moved.
Moved by Romero, second by Alvarado. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
In favor of passing this motion is Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. J, informational items, superintendent's report.
I've said all I'm going to say tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. J2, Measure V, update and timelines.
Good evening, trustees. Mr. Jimmy Sanders is here to give an update and a timeline regarding where we are with the Measure V modernization and new construction at Calexico High School. Mr. Sanders?
Thank you for the opportunity to provide an update as to our project status and provide a detailed phasing plan. I believe as part of your agenda, you have a very detailed schedule for each project, and so I'll briefly refer to that schedule, but I've also prepared in support of that schedule, I've prepared a phasing plan tonight to update the board with. So our first slide is for reference. It shows an existing site plan. It shows all of our existing buildings and existing facilities. I've included that just in case we need it for reference. So our first project includes the what we call project phase A1. It includes relocating the existing student parking lot to the site of the current Ward Field parking lot. So we have highlighted that in red on the high school campus plan. In order to complete project phase A2, of course, we have to have that done. So that's our first project that will be done. We start construction in March of 2018, and we complete construction in July of 2018. Our next project is the first project of the relocatable classroom buildings, and that project includes a 16 classroom modular building. And it also includes the expansion of No Name Field. So I want to point out that all of the modular classroom buildings are scheduled to receive both local bond funds and state bond funds. Okay, so we will be returning to the board at the December 14th board meeting to provide you a full scope of work for the modular project. Okay, so that would include the floor plans and the sections so that we can go out to bid, and then we would be coming back in January per our schedule to award the modular building project. So in order for that timeline to happen, we'll be providing to the district the first week in December the floor plans, the sections, and so that the district can send those out in electronic format so that we're prepared for review at the December 14th board meeting. Okay. So we're scheduled to start the 16 classroom construction in June of 2018 and finish in February of 2019. Okay, our next project is project what we call phase A3, and it includes construction of a 12 classroom modular building at the south side of the existing faculty parking lot. Now, part of that project also includes the expansion or renovation of the existing Circle Drive to support a new student loading and unloading or bus loading and unloading area and some additional parking. I would also point out that prior to constructing this building, there are 7 relocatable classrooms in this location. And so we're going to be taking 4 of those relocatable classrooms and locating those down at the south side of the Wardfield overflow parking lot. So that's also part of that project. Now, if I could, I'm going to go back to project phase A1. And there are several modular classroom modular buildings there in the corner of the parking lot, and we need to get rid of those buildings in order to complete that parking lot. So So the proposed location of those buildings is on the south side of the overflow parking lot there. But rather than move those buildings, which are very old, we're taking the best buildings that the district has, or some of the best buildings that you have, and relocating those buildings. So it's proposed that we get rid of the older modular buildings here that are support spaces for the district office, and relocate these 7 buildings to be used in this area here, and that's going to open up and allow us to complete that parking lot project. So our next project is Project A4. And Project A4 includes the construction of a 20 classroom modular building and a 16 classroom modular building. And with the completion of Project A4, that completes all of our proposed modular classroom building projects. And so we would do them in that order. Phase A2, A3, A4, and A5. The next project on the list, on the written list that we have, is what we refer to as Project A5. And we refer to it as Project A5 rather than Phase A5 because Project A5 can be completed anytime after Phase A2 or the modular classroom building here. So we can complete a portion of that during the course of Phase A2 through A5. So we called it Project A5, so that it's not confused with that the start or completion of that is contingent on any of the other prior phases. Okay, and that project includes the expansion or the construction of a new field, practice field, on the east side of the new modular classroom buildings. It includes, in order to make that happen, we need to relocate the existing ag corral, and then we need to relocate the existing laydown yard, and we remove those relocatable maintenance facilities there.
Will we be able to save the obstacle course that is being used by the ROP law enforcement, because they've asked, it's a big investment there. Is there any way to save it, or okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
We can make that obstacle course part of the practice field, so it would support its current location. It would support. We would just build the practice field around it.
I've been asked multiple times, and I said it's safe. It's safe. So I just want to make sure I'm not lying.
We'll make. In fact, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and highlight this plan. That's one of the bullet point items that we're going to save the existing. You refer to that as the obstacle.
It's an obstacle course for the ROP law enforcement program that we have. Thank you.
One
Appreciate
quick
it.
question. Where's the ag being moved to? The ag corrals.
The ag corral. So the current location is here, and we're going to relocate them down on the south side of the existing ag barn there. Yeah, and it actually gives them a little bit more room than they have now. So that includes all of our new construction projects proposed new construction projects at the high school. So our next project, we refer to it on the written list as Project B1. And Project B1 includes the modernization of your current career technical education facilities. So that would include your welding, your wood shops, your automotive shops, and your culinary arts. Now I want to point out that the proposed funding on this project includes local Measure B funds, but it also includes the state modernization program or the state career technical education program funds. So we're going to be submitting an application to the state within the next 6 months for both modernization and the career technical education program. The career technical education program funding is a competitive grant. And so, and that's what we refer to as 50-50 money. And so if we're successful at that, it's proposed that we would use the Career Technical Education Grant to fund the 50% of that project. And that would allow us to save your modernization eligibility to use at other locations at the high school. Okay? But if we're not successful, again, it's a competitive grant. If we're not successful, then it's proposed that we fund those projects through the state modernization program, and that is 40-60 money, meaning 40 from the district and 60 from the state. So in an effort to try to stretch those Measure V dollars as far as we can, we're going to try to take advantage of the Career Technical Education Funding Program and save the modernization eligibility, because you only have so much at that site. If we're successful with the Career Technical Education, it would allow us to use the modernization money or modernization eligibility on other projects. Okay. Our next project is what we refer to as Project B2, and Project B2 includes the modernization of the existing multi-purpose room and food service facility, and the modernization of the existing student services building. Okay? We had presented a possible exterior elevation of that building, and so part of that student services building modernization, of course, would include the improvements to the exterior facade, the new roof, and the new exterior finishes, so that the front of your campus has a very nice look to it, with the 2 new modular classroom buildings, the new parking lot, and then the modernization of the student services building. Now, included in that project is the modernization of the food services building and the assembly area of the multipurpose building and the courtyard area. So we want to point out that when we modernize that facility, that's not just the modernization of just the facility. That includes the new proposed hardscape and shaded area on the south side of that building. It includes a complete renovation of the way that the food is prepared and served in that area. There'll be a grab-and-go area. There'll be we've already met with staff and our food service consultant. They've come up with some great ideas that we look forward to showing to the board for your review and approval. But we really want to try to modernize that facility so that the grab-and-go area, for example, has a smoothie bar, so that the students could order a smoothie or other items that the students enjoy eating, and it has the appearance and feel of a food court area. And we're going to get away from that standard line where you come through, on a speed line. The students are going to have the option to go to the grab-and-go area, or they can come into an area where there'd be a small grill, and there'll be the option to do like a fajita day or hamburgers, and the students can see the food being prepared, that it's fresh and that it's good, and they can see into the kitchen. The kitchen is no longer something hidden behind a wall. It's all very open and clean, like you see at a food court area. So we want to give a very modern and a fresh feel to that multi-purpose building, and that includes the food service area being modernized to current standards so that the students want to eat there. And then, of course, once they do have their meal, whether they've chose to go to the grab-and-go area or to go to the counter area to secure a meal there, they can either eat inside or they can go outside. And the outside area, of course, that's a nice hardscaped area with an amphitheater and shade. That's all part of that project. Okay. So, in summary, this plan here shows the phased approach from phase A1 through phase A5, and then Project B1 and Project B2, which are our modernization projects. And so I think we need to update that with a bullet point about that the obstacle course remains in its current location, just to make sure that we capture the scope of each one of these phases. Thank you for the opportunity to present the update tonight, and we look forward to coming back on the December 14th meeting with the proposed modular scope.
And I just need to make one clarification. It's not ROP law enforcement, it's the CTE law enforcement program, so.
CTE
Yes.
law enforcement obstacle course.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. J3, pool update and timeline.
So for the pool update, we will be starting the process. I believe I sent you all an email, and so it should be starting during the week of Thanksgiving break, and it should be completed by December 14th. You know, we were waiting for the temperature to get into at least 85 or below, and so our contractor is ready to begin. They're going to start doing the prep work. And so the algae removal shall be completed by December 14th. That is the final.
Thank you. J4, association comments. ACT?
Okay, good evening, Board, Superintendent, and Board members. I'm here in place of our President, James Taylor. I just want a real brief, comment tonight. Tonight, our members have made their voice known in regards to an issue that is extremely disturbing. As you saw earlier tonight, ACT members will not tolerate sexual harassment. Teachers will not be silenced on this topic. We will continue to make our voices heard, and we'll work hard until tenured and non-tenured teachers are safe. As board members, it is of utmost importance that you ensure that this behavior is not tolerated, and that this serves as an opportunity for dialogue, between teachers, board members, and all employees. On another note, there are still many concerns dealing with the air conditioning in the high school. It appears that though the reading of the classroom thermostats indicate the temperature is appropriate, it is not reflecting the actual room temperature. And we ask that this continues to be addressed. I know teachers have complained and made their, concern known, and asked MNO to work on it, go check it out, and still, we still have these situations happening. And that's all I have for tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
CSC. Okay, we go on. J5, ROP Committee.
Nothing to report at this
Nothing to
time.
report. Safety Committee.
Just quickly, we have our second safety committee on December 1st.
Thank you, Mr. Ramirez. J6, board reports. These are informational reports by board members. No action is taken. We'll start with Mr. Romero.
I just want to congratulate the students that were honored today and their parents, plus the employees of the month. Thank you for all your hard work. Another concern: what's going on with the AC? No, not here, but the ones at the high school. I mean, can we? I thought that would be fixed by now.
Yeah, so currently right now the CHS is going through their implementation plan. So the thermostats are getting put in as we speak. It hasn't been completed yet. So these thermostats are going in. There could be a problem with the thermostat or whatever. I've taken all the concerns from Ms. Williams. She forwarded me the list. I forwarded those to Climatech, and Climatech was going to take action on those that night, which was, what day was that? When you said that was? Wednesday. So Thursday, Friday, they were supposed to be correcting those issues. I was just there this morning where a new classroom popped up, classroom 83. So we addressed it. We put the fans in there. The complaint was that it felt muggy in there. So HVACs don't typically do much with humidity, but it was 74 degrees in there. The cold air kicked on just as we entered the room. So, I'm working with Climate Tech to work these bugs out. So as soon as they come up, I send them out and we, get the bugs worked out. The set points, to my knowledge, have been changed. So they're to come on at 7 o'clock, go till 7 p.m. They're supposed to have that hour break during the lunch hour where the ACs won't turn off. Again, the high school is still being implemented. It's not completed yet. So as these issues do arise, we will address them as quickly as possible.
Okay, please keep us posted.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else, Trustee Romero?
No.
No. Trustee Calderon? Trustee Castillo?
No comment.
Thank you. Trustee Alvarado?
Good evening. I just wanted to thank all the students that got recognized tonight, all the employees also as well. On another note, to all the veterans out there that serve, thank you for your service. Jeremy, Mr. Calderon, thank you guys. And all the other employees that didn't show up, thank you guys for your service.
Thank you, Trustee Alvarado. Good evening, Calderon Jr. Congratulations to all the veterans we have out there. And again, to those students that were recognized today, keep up the hard work. Thank you. K, actions item, consideration and action approval of the following items. K1, memorandum of understanding between Calexico Unified School District and Imperial County Office of Education for data sharing services.
So moved.
Moved by Romero, second by Calderon Jr. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. In favor of this motion is Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. K2, memorandum of understanding between Calexico Unified School District and the Consulate of Mexico to expand services under existing MOU of Plaza Comunitarias. I move to approve. Second by Calderon. All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Castillo? Aye. In favor of this motion, Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. K3, denial of claim, Sasha Briceño versus Calexico Unified School District. I move to approve.
Second.
Second by Romero. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. In favor of this motion is Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. K4, notice of completion of Calexico High School Ward Field Grandstand Project. Moved by Alvarado, second by Calderon Jr. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. In favor of this motion, Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. K5, scheduling of annual organizational meeting.
I'll move to approve.
Moved by Calderon, second by Calderon Jr. All those, it's the 14th. That's what.
That's a special one.
Yeah, it's at 4:45. 4:45 is good? All right. So it was motion by Calderon, second by Calderon Jr. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. In favor of this motion, Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. K6, account payable pre-list and addendums. I motion to approve. Second by Alvarado. All those in favor, please state aye. Aye.
Aye.
In favor of this motion, Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. K7, authorization to seek proposal for E-rate services for the 2019 school year. Moved by Castillo. Second by Alvarado. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
In favor of this motion, Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. K8, variable terms waivers 2017 to 2018, school year 4, Howard Fitzgerald and Theodore A. Gallant. I motion to approve. second by Castillo. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. In favor of this motion, Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. K9, discussion and direction given to amend board policy, temporary athletic team coaches, and administrative regulation, temporary athletic team coaches.
So moved.
So moved. Moved by Romero, second by Alvarado. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. In favor of this motion, Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. K10, resolution regarding disposition of surplus assets, non-assets items at Dual Elementary and Williams Moreno Jr. School. Moved by, well, it's a roll call. Moved by Alvarado, second by Castillo.
Yes.
Romero, Calderon.
Yes.
Castillo, Alvarado, Calderon Jr. Yes. Motion approved. K11, certificated employment report. So,
I move we approve except for the transfer that's for the ELA teacher.
and okay. Second by motion by Romero, second by Alvarado. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved by Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. K12, classified employment report. I motion to approve.
Second.
Second by Castillo. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. In favor of this motion, Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. L, reconvene to earlier closed session. We're going back to closed session. Thank you.
Okay, it's now 10:45. We're going to reconvene back into open session. Oh, sorry about that. Ready? Item N, we're going to, 10:45, reconvene to open session. Moving on to item O, announcement of actions taken in closed session.
And first of all, board members Calderon Jr. and Calderon left the board meeting for a variety of reasons at approximately 8:50 tonight. There was a motion to extend this meeting until 11 o'clock. The motion was made by board member Alvarado, seconded by board member Castillo. It was approved 3-0. Voting for was Alvarado, Castillo, and Romero. There was a hearing on an appeal by of a public complaint. The board directed. Yes. The board directed. I'll look closer. The board directed a decision be issued in writing, and that will be done expediently. Also in closed session, there was a motion made by board member Calderon, seconded by board member Calderon Jr., regarding the termination of services of Superintendent Maria Ambrose. And the board approved a resolution terminating the employment agreement and the employment of Superintendent Ambrose in accordance with the employment agreement, allowing termination at will without alleging or demonstrating cause and without the consent of the superintendent. It provided for termination of employment as well as payment of salary in accordance with the employment agreement, and directed appropriate related actions. And there was a roll call vote. Voting for were board members Calderon, Calderon Jr., and Alvarado. Dissenting were board members Romero and Castillo. And I believe there was no other action to report.
Item P, adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Castillo, second by Romero. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned. Good night.